Welcome to Budget Beauty, where I help you look flawless for less. Welcome back, and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen, and this is Budget Beauty. We do everything beauty on a budget, and that includes talking about my all-time favorite makeup product ever, eyeshadow palettes. And today I am coming to you with my top 10 palettes that I think are perfect for Valentine's Day. In fact, I have one of my top 10 on my eyes today. So if you're excited, give this video a big, huge thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and your bell notification is turned on because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. Down in the description box, I will link all 10 palettes. Some of them may not be available anymore, but all of the palettes, whether they're available or not, with information, discount codes will all be down in the description box for you, as well as my favorite beauty subscriptions, all of the makeup that I'm wearing in today's video, if you would like to recreate this look. And of course, come on over, follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. So let's jump into my top 10 eyeshadow palettes for Valentine's Day. Now, I like Valentine's Day. It's not my favorite holiday, but I still get into it. I do enjoy the holiday overall. I mean, I'm wearing a Valentine's Day shirt and earrings. Both of these are from Amazon. I will link them for you as well. And when I think about Valentine's Day, the first thing I want to do is create super fun Valentine's Day looks. And so I went through my entire eyeshadow palette collection, over 200 palettes, and pulled the top 10 that I think would create the perfect Valentine's Day look. I have some indie brands, I have some mainstream brands, so let's jump into it. So palette number 1 comes from Unearthly Cosmetics. If you follow my channel, you know that Unearthly is my favorite indie brand. I pretty much own everything that they release, and this palette, Surrender, came in their Valentine's Day mystery box. So I don't think it's available anymore. Like I said, all the information will be down in the description box for you, but this palette 1,000,000% just screams Valentine's Day to me. You have all those reds, those pinks, even those neutral shades, and the quality of the mattes and shimmers in this palette can't be beat. I've created an all red look. I've created an all pink look. You can even just focus on the quads for your looks. And in the typical Unearthly fashion, the formula is amazing. So this palette immediately makes me want to reach for it when I think Valentine's Day. And like I said, it was part of her Valentine's Day mystery box. I would definitely subscribe to her email list if you love Unearthly so that you're notified when she releases mystery boxes. She did a Halloween one and a Valentine's Day one, and they were both amazing. I'm actually wearing the blush from the blush palette that came in the Valentine's Day mystery box. So Surrender screams Valentine's Day to me. The next palette is the Natasha Denona Love palette. Now, again, I don't think this is available anymore. However, she did create a mini love palette, and she just released a love palette that includes a blush and a highlighter. So I'll link that down below for you. Very, very, very similar color story. So if you like the color story of this one, you can pick up her new face palette and basically have this exact same color story. So again, we have all the fun pinks, the reds. I love that this palette has a little pop of berry and purple tones in it. And this is one of the only midi palettes I have from Natasha Denona. And again, I think about Valentine's Day, I think about the Love palette for obvious reasons. And the formula in this palette is really, really good. I mean, the mattes are great, the shimmers are great, and it just gives all the Valentine's Day vibes. And we can't have a Valentine's Day palette video without the Valentine's Day release from Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Verona palette inspired by Romeo and Juliet. This is Nomad's Valentine's Day release for this year. I did an entire video on this palette, a full tutorial, 2 looks. I'll link that video down below for you. This palette is amazing. This is the love side, this is the desk side. The love side and desk side are absolutely beautiful. The formula is incredible. Nomad's mattes are so buttery smooth and blendable and buildable. And the shimmers in this palette, I really, really like them. They're a little bit more sheer, a little bit more topper, but they're so beautiful. I mean, this shade right here, I mean, all the shades in this palette, and I love the cool toned vibe of this side. So yeah, we couldn't have a Valentine's Day palette video without the Valentine's release of 2023. Next up comes from Adept Cosmetics. This is another one of my favorite indie brands, and this is the Ninhydrin palette. Now, this palette came out last year or maybe even the year before, but when I was looking through my palettes, I immediately reached for this one because of this whole section right here. It's these beautiful purple, extra special multi-chrome duochrome shimmers. We have two very neutral mattes. These are your two mattes. This one's a little bit more purple tone, a little bit more brown tone, and it pairs so beautifully with the special shades in this palette. And when we say special shade, I mean, we mean beautiful, gorgeous, special shades in this palette. And when I think Valentine's Day, I think pink, red, white, purple. And so this palette, immediately I was like, yes, adding that to the top 10. I also thought I'd throw a little quad in there for a really affordable option. This is the Sorbet quad from Colourpop. I really like this quad. I don't have a lot of small eyeshadow palettes left in my collection, but this one I actually really like, and I think the color story is perfect for the holiday. We have a lighter matte, a deeper matte, and two really beautiful shimmers. It is a little bit on the berry toned side more than the pink toned side, but I think for a quad, this would be the perfect one for Valentine's Day, and the shimmers in this quad are fantastic. In fact, all their little quads of Colourpop are really, really good quality, and I actually really like the clear packaging. It makes it super easy to see the color story. We're gonna circle back to Unearthly Cosmetics, and this is the Sleepover palette. Now, this palette released last year, and I absolutely love this palette. I have used it so many times, and every time I wear it, I get so many compliments. It is definite Valentine's Day. We've got pinks, we've got purples, we've got these beautiful white shimmer shades that shift to pink. I mean, this shade in the middle is beautiful. I also love that Unearthly does throw some pretty neutral mattes in there so that you don't have to go with an all pink or all berry look. You can add a few of those shades in with the mattes. And again, the quality, the formula can't be beat. My very favorite brand ever. Now let's talk about the palette I'm wearing today. I'm actually wearing everything from this collection: the lip, the lipstick, the lashes, the palette. This is the Strawberry Shortcake Berrylicious palette from Glam Life. This palette actually just released about a month ago. I love this palette. I love it. It's, like I said, it's the palette I have on my eyes today. I even incorporated some of these fun greens on my lower lash line and in my outer corner to kind of deepen up the look a little bit. The shimmers are so beautiful in this palette. They are just so beautiful. And as always, Glam Light mattes blend and layer beautifully. I love this palette. I created a really pretty strawberry look in my video. I'll link my video of this collection down below for you. The look turned out absolutely beautiful. Looked like a little strawberry. And again, perfect for Valentine's Day. Pinks, reds with that fun pop of green. Another one of my favorite indie brands is Blend Bunny. I actually own every single palette that Blend Bunny has ever released, and this is their Dollhouse palette. Again, it is just Valentine's Day in a palette. You have a lot more color options in this palette than some of the other ones that I've shared with you, but there are a lot of really beautiful pinks, really beautiful purples, a few of those beautiful pastel shades that also scream Valentine's Day. I mean, this whole row right here, that's those cool tone neutrals, and then you can pop in some berries, some pinks. This pink shimmer right here is so beautiful on the lid, the inner corner. This is just such a great palette, and Blend Bunny honestly makes some of the best mattes, right on par with Unearthly Cosmetics. Like I said, I own everything that they release. I get really excited when they put out a new palette, and you can see that I have given a lot of love to this palette. And if you want a palette that's great for Valentine's Day but has a lot of color options, this is one I would highly, highly recommend. This is another palette that I really like. It has mixed reviews, but I really enjoy this. This is the Strawberry Feels palette from Jaclyn Cosmetics. Now, this one also is very, very Valentine's Day. Lots of berry tones in here, lots of whites, pinks. You even have a little bit more of an orangey neutral shade. The mattes in this palette are really, really, really good. There is only two shimmers, this kind of red shimmer and then this kind of champagne shimmer. They're not the most sparkly, beautiful shimmers like what you're going to get with Unearthly or Blend Bunny or even Adept Cosmetics Nomad. These are a little bit more lackluster shimmers. I mean, they're still pretty and they make beautiful looks. I use this red one every time I use this palette, but the mattes are really good, and all matte looks with this palette turn out beautifully. And like I said, the shimmers aren't bad. They're just not as great as some of the other brands some of the other shimmers out there and some of those other palettes, but this is affordable. And like I said, the mattes are beautiful, and it is all the pink and red vibes. And last but not least is one of my favorite mainstream palettes ever, and that is from Huda Beauty, and this is the Rose Quartz palette. I love this palette. I actually just wore this palette the other day and got so many compliments. I went and got a coffee as usual from Dunkin', and the girl in the drive-thru was like, "Oh my God, I love your makeup look," and it was using this palette. So this is definitely purple, pink leaning. The shimmers in here are beautiful. There's a lot of different textures in the shimmers, which I really like. I love that it's more cool tone. So it's similar to Death Side in the Nomad palette where it's a little bit more cool tone, but the shimmers are spectacular, and Huda Beauty really nails these big palettes. I don't love her little 9-pound palettes, but when she makes these big palettes, this one, Mercury Retrograde, they are fantastic. I love this palette. It is worth every single penny. I mean, every single penny. I know that it is still available, so it will be linked down below for you. So those are my top 10 palette recommendations for Valentine's Day. Let me know if you have any of these palettes. What are your favorite palettes for Valentine's Day, or which are the ones that you lean towards? Let me know down in the comments. And like I said, I will link everything down below for you, along with my favorite beauty boxes, all of the makeup that I'm wearing in today's video. And of course, come on over, follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. So many great Valentine's Day palettes for the perfect look.